Hello and welcome to my tutorial on how to solve the 5x5x5 using only double moves such as this, this, and this. Like my 4x4 tutorial I uploaded before this one, the method is very similar. We solve centers first, and then we do edges, and then we solve it like a 3x3 using only double moves. So before I waste any more time, let's get into the scramble. And you can follow along if you prefer. I'm going to start with white on top and green in the front. So we have, oh, by the way, all this is double. I'm just going to say, for instance, the first move is little u. I'm not going to say the two. Okay. B, U, F, little b, little u, little L, little F, F, U, D, B, D, B, F, little r, D, R, little b, D, U, sorry, little u, little d, little L, little d, little F, L, R, F, L, excuse me, L, D, L, little b, R, little d, R, little L, F, little b, little u, little F. Okay, so what is the first thing that I see? Obviously I see this chunk here. I see the easiest thing I can probably make is the yellow. I'm probably going to go with yellow first, since it looks pretty quick. That's not always the justification, but I see how I can solve it pretty quickly right here. So I have this chunk here. I have this 2x1 block I can put right here. And then I see I'm just going to have two yellow corner edges here left on each side. So we're going to do that. So I have this here and this here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is place them so that they're mirroring each other. So one's on the right and one's on the left. And I'm going to do little r, little u, little r, little u. That's going to affect the centers around. Okay, now for now I just want to kind of go over how to solve everything on a pair of centers like the red-orange here without going into algorithms like I just did. So for instance, this chunk here I can place into this one and bring that back, and I'll have this 2x3 chunk. And then I have an option. I can either bring these two in like this and have this left, or I can bring the middle one in, which is normally what I do. So generally, when it comes to making centers, I look for the center edge first. So for instance, if I were to do that on a 7x7, I'd be looking for getting the center edge, and whatever else is outside I'll solve afterward. So in this one, I'd do that same algorithm that I just did on the left side, and then I'd fix the white yellow. Or I could have just, if I did slice moves, I wouldn't have to fix the white yellow, but it's faster not to do slice moves, so I just don't bother. I just fix it afterward. Once you get into bigger cubes, you see why I do that. Okay, so here's the last one. And then I'll get into, once I solve this last one, I'll get into specific algs to solve every case. So I have this, and I have an empty slot here. I'm just going to swap those. And we've already covered this case, but let's just go case by case now. So I've already kind of covered this one. So we have this mirroring the other side, one in each corner, and you want to go like this, and then we're going to fix the white yellow. Of course, you can always, if you have this, you can always do slice moves, and then the centers on the white and yellow are not disturbed. Now in this case, this is actually quite the opposite. So you see that I have this and this, only I disturbed the white and yellow center. If I have something like this, it's actually just one less move. It's like without the little r. So I can just start off with a little u, r, little u, and then of course I had to fix this. And of course you could do that with slice moves and it would not alter the white and yellow. Now this one I think anyone can figure out by themselves. These are just two in the middle that are right next to each other. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. This one's simply m, little u2, little m, little u. So just mu in parentheses 2. Now this one's a little trickier. So we have 2 here. This is kind of a special case. You won't usually run into this one, especially when you get into the higher order cubes. So we have this here mirroring 2 green here. In this case is you might be able to figure this one out too. It's just little r, little u, little r, little u, little r, little u. Solved. Now I also have this very much less common case that you probably don't even need, but I'm going to cover it anyway. It could be useful in higher order solves. Of course this is very simple. So this is just going to be little l, well, slice move little l, little r, u2, little u2. Same thing, u2. Now this one's also common. It's not. It's a little more common than the all 4 corners one that I just went over. However, this still happens. So all this is you just gotta repeat the one where you have 2 here and 2 here, like this, and then we do an F2, and then do the same thing, and of course fix the centers on the top and bottom. And that basically covers all the center cases that you will ever need, at least in a 5x5, but it should be also above 5x5 as well. And then we come to step 2, which is the edges. Now for right here, I'm going to start on trying to complete this green-red and then leave the next 3 for later. However, if I see the alg actually that I use is the same one that I use on a 4x4, which is just a little r, ub, little r. So let's do that right now. So you're going to want to have this green-red chunk on the bottom and this directly above it right here. And then we're going to do something like little r, ub, little r. However, I could have done something even when you have a case where you're completing the first, for instance, this green-red, and I have also another chunk here of 2. I'm going to want to put this on the downside as well. So if it's here, I'm going to want to place it here, and I still want the green-red here. So here, it's not going to get broken up, and there's a chance that I can complete the whole thing on a 5x5 anyway. So we're going to do that, little r, ub, little r, and it looks like I did. If I hadn't done that b2 move, I still would have had most likely 3 edges to still finish. Now in this next one I do have the case like I want to solve the green-white or the blue-white. Since they are, you see how they're kind of on opposite sides, this is going to be disturbed no matter what. So even if I put it down below, this is going to be broken apart. For instance, I'll show you. the blue-white is still broken apart. So, that's besides the point right now. I want to show you... Okay, now this case is probably the most annoying to do. You're still probably going to have to do... we're still going to have to do that same technique. I'm going to do it on the left side this time. So I'm going to do little L, U, B, U, B, little L, and then we're going to have these three left. Now I want to cover the second alg that's useful that you only need for solving the first edge along an axis. Now this alg is, you can probably figure it out for yourself. So if you have, for instance, a green-yellow on the left and right and a green-yellow in the middle on the opposite side, all you want to do is face that, put this face up, and then we're going to do a little m, U, little m, and then it'll solve that green-yellow. And in this case we only have two edges left. Okay, so now we come to the final two algorithms you need. This is basically step 3, which is the last 3 edges or the last 2 edges. In the first case, I'm going to cover the last 3 edges. You will always, if you have 3 edges left, you're always going to see something like this, where you're going to have, like, say, for instance, orange-white needs to go here, where the middle orange-white is, and then the red-white needs to go here, and then the red-yellows need to go back up here. Now, this is actually quite simple to do. This is just a, this is just an edge cycle that we have. We can use that, that we use for the 3x3 double moves tutorial. So I'm going to be using that, and that goes for the 5x5. Little r, F, little r, U, little r, F, little r. You don't even need the U at the end, but that is the first case. Now there is an alternate that I used to use before I realized I could use that, and let's cover that. Okay, so the alternate one I would use is I would hold it the same way, so orange-white here and middle orange-white there, and I would face it a different way, so I wouldn't be doing F's, but I would just for sake of simplicity, I'm going to do it with F's. So I would go little r, F, little r, F, little r, U, F, U, little r, F, little r, F, little r. In our final case, where we only have 2 edges left along an axis, in this example we have green-white here and blue-white, and we want to swap these two with these two. So in this case is actually another simple alg. This is actually an alg I get for last 2 edges while doing normally solving a 5x5. So this is just starts like this. This is on the top. Little r, F, U, little r, U, F, little r. And let me show you the alternate. Now this is what I used before I realized I could use this alg. So I would face it here. I'd put this in the front. This is a lot longer, so I wouldn't recommend this one, but I thought I'd just insert this in here. So I do little r, U, little r, U, little r, F. Repeat that, little r, U, little r, U, little r, F, and then same thing, little r, U, little r, U, little r. And of course the last step is just to solve this like a 3x3 with double moves, which I've already covered, but I'll go over an example that I have. So I'm going to bring these 2 reds together and bring these 2 orange blues down. Actually, let me turn this, since I have this together like this, let me bring that and let me bring it down here. Just one less step for later. Finish that. I have these 2 opposites here. And then I have this case. Okay, so let me do some scrambles here. Okay, so I might do one, I might do two, we'll see. Again, I'll hold the white side up, green side in front. Okay, if you want to follow along, go ahead. Okay, little b, r, little f, d, little r, little l, little b, u, r, l, little f, little r, l, r, little b, little u, f, little d, r, l, little b, little d, little l, little u, u, b, little f, little r, little f, b, r, little u, little f, little l, f, b, little l, little r, little f, b. Okay, so immediately I see something I like here. It's not perfect, but I have these two chunks I can insert here. I also have this blue I can insert here. I also have an even nicer case, which I'm probably going to start off with now that I see, which is this here. And when I bring this piece up, that's going to connect here, and it's going to bring that one to connect here. So I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to bring this chunk down, which is also going to make a 3x1 for me. And I think I'm going to bring that down like this so I don't disturb what I have here. And then we're going to solve this using this alg. I'm going to fix the red and orange. And then I'm probably going to bring this chunk in here. This one's going to go make it a 2x3. Okay. And I'm going to bring this down and then do a URU and then fix. Let's see, it doesn't matter where I put it. Okay, so now I see I have just a 3 edges left along here. Let me fix this first. So I have red yellow, white orange, and white red. And we're going to bring, oh no, this is in the right spot. So we're going to do this alg. Next one. So I see this is actually in a good spot, so I'm going to bring that towards the bottom here. And I have the blue yellow in the correct spot here. And we're going to do the little L, U, B, U, B, little L. And we have all 4 completed. And now we have last 2 here. I have this case where it's on the wrong side, so this is going to be a 2-step process here, but that's okay. I'm not going to bother moving this. We're going to do the little R, U, B, little R. And this is a good example solve because I go over a lot of cases here. I have 2 edges left, so blue-orange and green-red. And we're going to do that case I just covered, so that's little r, f, u, little r, u, f, little r. And then we have 3x3 left. So right now I see this chunk. I see not much else in terms of chunks. This is really the best chunk I have. So I want to try to conserve that if I can. If I can't, I'm not going to bother. Let's see. I can do something like this. And then, let's see. Finish that off there. This is not very favorable, so I'm going to move on to something else. Let's see, I have this and this. I can bring this right here. And then I have this case. I have these two here and these two in the back. Okay, so let me do one more for you. Alright, white on top, green in the front. U, little f, little l, little d, u, little b, f, little r, little u, l, b, f, little d, little r, little l, little d, b, little b, little r, d, little l, u, b, l, little b, f, little f, d, l, little u, l, little d, f, little u, little l, d, f. Okay, so I think everyone should see what we have first here. Now we have this, which is obvious, but we also have something like this. So I can bring this chunk here, make a 2x3, and this one will also complete this 3x1. So I want to do that first. So we're going to bring that red piece up, and then we're going to finish this off. We're not just going to push it in like that, because I have this here. I'm going to bring it in like that. Now we can finish off our blue and green. Like so. So we can do something like this. Or if you didn't want to disturb this here, we could do something like, and that's easy enough to do. Now, I don't mind doing slice moves for R and L moves. It's just the U moves, having to go like this or this is kind of annoying. So I don't mind doing stuff like this. Anyway, I have this kind of difficult center left, the yellow and white. The best thing I can see that I could do would be something like this, and then I have this case here. I might not see this in a fast solve, but I see it now. I have that rare case, and then of course I want to bring it back so that I keep this intact, so I'm going to bring the green up. And I'm lucky enough to have a case that's blue, yellow here, blue, white here. So I'm going to bring the blue, white here. And we're going to do the little L, U, B, little L. That was in one shot right there. Okay, so our next one is, let's see, I have red, yellow here, and I have this here. That's not going to help us. So we're just going to go on with the little L, UB, little L. I have two edges here left. So we're going to do this case here. And last four edges here. Now this is the annoying case I don't like. So we're just going to do it. So pick one. I pick the blue-red. You could pick the green-red, orange-blue, whatever. We're going to do the little R, UB, little R. And then we're going to have three edges left, I think, no matter what. So I have green-orange here. I want the green-orange right above it. And then we're going to do little R, F, R, U, R, F, little R. And now we have 3x3, so what I see immediately is pretty much nothing. So when I see nothing, I'm just going to pay attention to my corners. Now I'm normally a blue solver, so I'm looking at, oh, I have the most complicated case for blue, so I'm just going to look at this yellow here, bring them together, and do something like that. And immediately I see this, so we're going to do that. And I see this and this and this and this is not favorable. However, I also have these that are unsolved, so I think it doesn't matter if I do something like this and see where I'm at. And this isn't the best case either, but it's not terrible. So I'm going to hold these in place, and I'm going to bring this up top with this one, and then we're going to bring these so they're opposite of these two. And we're going to do a little R, U, R, U, R, U, and then undo that setup. So if you enjoyed that, please like the video. If you learned something, I don't know, leave a comment saying you did. And I hope you all enjoyed this kind of mini-series, I guess you could call it. This is the last one I'm going to do for double moves specifically, since there's not much else to learn going up in order of cube. So like for 6x6 it's not that different. I mean, I could do one, like an example solves video for 6x6 double moves, but I'm not going to do a tutorial. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys.